Hey, good evening, everyone. It's time for another Sunday night video. As usual, we're going to bust this box of 2026 Mega Heritage. I'm going to add a little wrinkle. One, let's face it, we're looking for a couple of short prints and maybe a random hit out of what has been a disappointing half case. I wouldn't even say disappointing. It's just been a mundane case from a Barnes & Noble. And this is down to the second last box, and we'll keep popping these until Series 2 Topps comes out. That being said, not bad on the acquisition of needs for the set. The Sonny Gray and the Tyler Stevenson both going set number 1. So we take another 2 off. We're down to 28. And the Hurston and the quad outfielder rookie cards, they will go in series number 2 or set number 2. I'll probably end up going ahead and building that second set simply because some of the short prints I get duplicates of, and by the time I go out into the market, when I finally get tired of doing this, I'm probably going to probably buy some lots that'll have some duplicates. Might as well just get them both done. And then I can say I have 2 sets. And last week I showed you the Turkey Red, very cool cabinet card, odd baseball, old time, the really, really vintage stuff. I'm old, so I know that this 85 Donruss pack that I happened to find on the shelf behind you, there's a story. We're going to pop that just for fun and giggles tonight anyway, as part of this before we get into it. Just because I have it laying around, and I'm not going to sell it, and I'm not going to send it in to authenticate it. We're just going to see what's in there. And then I wanted to show you this 1960 Brooks Robinson Leaf card. Again, kind of oddball and interesting things. Obviously, it's a great Brooks Robinson card, great picture. You can see it was listed at 20 bucks. I'm pretty sure I bought this at Bill's in Denver, Colorado, and I'm sure he cut me a little bit of a deal on it, probably in a group of others. But clean card, but 1960, not your standard fare. And as we think about the fact that people are chasing inserts and numbered cards and a variety of other things, this Leaf card is close to value in high grade as your 60 Topps might be, but it was just different back then. And so if you could get your hands on some of those oddball cards, again, you could do them real reasonable. As you can see in this case, the Orioles, you can't see it very well, but the bird's on the hat. This is a licensed product. It's a real deal. It's just fascinating, the variety of different cards. And now we look at one box and we're willing to throw $379 at a hobby box. Not opposed, if that's your deal. Not opposed at all. But, you're gambling a little bit. And I put that in the community. And I know that this is a new channel, and so I'm getting some people that are watching it. But I kind of threw out that comment about, is the hobby now about gambling? Is that the news, or are we collecting for sets? And I'd like to believe it's not the case. I hear these comments when I go into shops, especially in our local area, and I think to myself, I don't want to believe it. I don't want that to be true. I have some good friends that still collect and still love to rip, and I have some friends that, they buy bulk of certain rookies, they grade them and see how they come out, and they turn them as quick as they can, and they're doing all right. Whatever works. But for me, I guess I'm an old-time collector, maybe a bit of a hoarder. I want to build the set, and so I'm going to do that, and that's kind of why I stick with Topps and with Heritage, because I can still manage that. Watched a guy break a Bowman 1 video box, or a hobby box today, just because I had a few minutes and I was curious to see what other people are doing. And I realized that there is absolutely no way on God's green earth that there's any kind of set I could build out there that I could just by hand. So that's just a different ball game. Will I buy a box just for fun and play the game? Sure. I'm an adrenaline junkie like everybody else. But anyway, here's this 1985 Donruss pack. I've had it for a long, long time, and it's made some moves. So I can guarantee that that it is unaltered, that is authentic, because I'm pretty sure that box came out of a box that I bought when I was 17 years old. I had a mentor, an old teacher, and we we bought all the cards we could get our hands on, and we would fill them. We would go to different places and buy whatever random packs were in a grocery store, but we would get the original box from one of them. We'd fill them to 36, and we had a box. And that served me very well in college. I used to do card shows, and it allowed me the opportunity to get an undergraduate degree without any student loans, because I was in north central Kansas about once a month at different shows in that area, just hawking some cards and having a good time and trying to acquire a little bit more to my collection without having to lay out a bunch of money. But point is, I know where it came from. And, the other thing is I open this. So we're gonna look at this. We're just going to go ahead and open it. I'm probably making sure. I'm going to be careful, the wrappers. I've got a box of wrappers from like 1981 to about 86, 87, where I've carefully peeled them, laid them out flat because, there was a wrapper market. I've got a 75 mini wrapper in here from a pack that some friends of mine, I'm going to name them in here, bought one time when Mark Murphy, the baseball card kid, was still doing the thing, and we bought a pack of 75 minis. It was $75 at the time. We all put in $7.50 or whatever it was with the shipping, and then we drew the number from 1 to, I don't know if it was 10 to 12. This one's going to tear. That's all right. I'm not really dying to save the 85 wrapper, but. And then we got the card. I think I actually got the Harmon Killebrew 75. It was cool. It was mini. It was fun. Nobody hit a Brett mini rookie or a Yount, but we had a good time. Anyway, for those of us of a certain age, you might remember Gary Lavelle, the Giants, back in the day. And as you can see, 73 and 67, that'll probably get you a job in the majors today, especially if you can chew up innings and keep your ERA at under 3. But back in the day, he was just another guy that threw for the Giants. Of course, in 85, we had the puzzle piece. As you can see, that you had 63, you had 21 of these, 3x7, 63 total pieces. As you can see, this was Lou Gehrig, and this is 10, 11, and 12. Put a lot of these puzzles together. Never kept them together. I was a kid. Didn't understand the value of that. But let's see what we got here. I'm trying to get this camera here. From 1985, Kurt Young. Guy looks like Sean Cassidy. Al Chambers of the Mariners. They're in pretty good shape. Black border, that was tough. Scott Sanderson, pretty effective pitcher for the Cubs at the time. Had a little name to him. Terry Francona, fantastic manager. There you go. There's Terry Francona back when he was a young man. We're going to get us a rookie that, oh no, I thought maybe it might be Eric Davis, but it's Dwayne Walker. Again, 85. I'm not looking for anything special. I'm just, I just enjoy doing this. Bob Nipper. Dave Stewart. Let's talk about Dave Stewart for a second. All right. This is not the same Dave Stewart that pitched for. This is not the same Dave Stewart. As you can see, he looks very much, I thought, is this before the run with the A's? Wow, I'm getting old, and I have to remember back when, that's not the same one, because that Dave Stewart, I believe, rookie was in 1980, and he had that great run with the Oakland A's and was probably the most dominant pitcher in the American League for a while. Back to Lavelle, let's see what we got here. Tippy Martinez, Denny Martinez. There's a Hall of Famer, Eck. This was back before the save days, early 80s. I've forgotten more than I remember. 134 wins before he gets traded to the Oakland A's and resurrects his career as a save guy. Randy Lurch. That's a fun one. You can't say that Rickey Henderson was underrated, because Rickey was about Rickey and Rickey marketed himself. But you can go back and you can look at the stats and look at what he did and how he changed the ball game, and you can't deny that he was one of the greatest. And he let you know, and I was okay with that. And it's sad that he's gone already. Here's another. Wow, this has been a nice little pack. I don't know what the pack would be worth on the open market, but when I got Winfield and Mattingly, and a second-year Mattingly at that, I'm gonna take that. UL Washington minus the toothpick. Royals fans, older Royals fans, UL had that toothpick all the time. Also, 85 World Series year. Thad Bosley, and then Gary Lavelle. So that turned out to be kind of, well, a nice trip down memory lane, and got some Hall of Famers out of it. With me appreciating mostly probably Ricky Henderson. Probably not any one of these would grade well. In the 80s, we had centering issues. But, you know, there was a time we had that box, we started ripping them in the early 2000s. You go from a kid to an adult and you look for other people that have the same kind of passion that you do for cards, and you tell the stories. You go to the ball games, probably when you're younger. Some of you probably drank too much beer. I'm not immune to that. I probably did in the day. But when we were adults, we still had our cards, and we realized there was some value to them, and we had jobs, we had lives, we had families. Sometimes we would get together on a Saturday night, and we would collect. And, you know, sometimes you'd wake up on a Sunday morning and go, how did I end up with a 1974 Roger Staubach Topps card? Because I don't even collect football, but I liked Roger Staubach. There was one guy, and we had a handful of guys, and I won't say their last names because, well, I haven't asked to talk to them, but there was B and Chris and Eric and Aaron and Phil, and we would order boxes, and we'd pool in our money, and we'd crack them on a Saturday night, and we'd tell off-color jokes, which probably shouldn't confess that. And then we would get into, we'd always bring over a little bit of our good stuff, and we would get into some heavy-duty trades. And it is, in fact, where I got my first 8 T206 cards, was a trade straight up for a Willie Mays on-card autograph that I pulled from a box of Heritage, or a random pick. I knew the Mays autograph was worth something. Of course, Mays was still alive at the time, and it was an auto thing. But, man, those T206s were cool. And I tell you, to this day, the both of us are still extremely happy with that trade. I believe Aaron probably still has that Mays autograph. And I don't know if those original 8 T206s are still with me, but you've seen that I've still got a good handful of them. And so it's a possibility a couple of them are there. But anyway, so cracked it. Let's see here. We checked out our singles. Check out my community if you have a moment there. I posted a query, a question, a thought about the state of the hobby. I'd be interested in your responses. It's at Kel's Cards and Cracks. There's my shameless plug for the channel. We looked at the 85 Donruss Open. That's cool. Wasn't expecting any of that. Obviously, I wasn't thinking, Puckett Clemens, but, Nolan Ryan or George Brett would have been cool. But I'll take Ricky Henderson any day of the week. And now we've got 17 packs in our elusive search for something random and cool out of a box of Mega Heritage from the Barnes & Noble, about 90 miles directly east of me, and also the elusive short prints that I seem to be having a heck of a time putting together. But let's see what we got going on. Let's see what we can find. I'm already happy here. I am recording this because I'm actually going to be out of town when this posts on the Sunday night that it goes up. But, okay, that autograph's looking pretty good back there. 6-2, another 8 innings last night. 1.9 ERA. I love me some Paul Skeens when he's on the hill and when he's lighting it up. All right, Dominguez, again, Angel Martinez, Alonso record breaker. Take Caglione anytime. We'll value this up here in a little bit, just to kind of see how close we are to the 55 mark. You never know. Bailey, Gunnar Henderson. Hey, there you go. Now that I got him in the second set, I'm gonna get him again. Gonna see him a lot. Walter, and then the Skeens card. Obviously, base, the All-Star, the banner, everything's normal there. But very, very pleased with his performance so far. And the longer I sit on that autograph, probably forever until somebody takes it away from me, makes me happy that I have it, because I do like the pictures. All right, got us a little DeGrom with flashes of his brilliance. Having a reasonably good start to the year, was looking good the other night. We're going to have us a little red card in there somewhere, but Jared Jones, Imanaga, I think he's throwing tonight. I remember Yelich, Sal Stewart, another Sal Stewart rookie card. Down to 256, still young guy, big power, good things. Mullins, Brady House rookie, Bednar red card, and the DeGrom. All right. So 2 packs in. Got us the Skeens. Pretty pleased with that. Kikuchi on the bottom. I know I've got him. I know that's not new. Luis Gill. Pete Crow Armstrong on the Cubs, who have lost 3 in a row as of tonight. We'll see if they turn it around, but they've been super hot. Bryce Trang, fascinating article. Young guy. Right now, I read an article about his WAR and what he's doing, and I will be paying more attention to him. We'll see what's going on with him. Love the green jersey on Suarez. Got that. Okay, we'll always take another Roman Anthony rookie, although I haven't checked his status, but I know he's not in the lineup again. Again, love pitchers, left-handed pitchers. Chris Sale, great start to the year. Very, very, very pleased. And I know on the $1 pile, I can, you get the guys you like, the guys you like to have in your collection, and you make that happen. You're just pleased by it. Dela Cruz continues, power, speed. Average has been up, been playing very well lately. Seager's pretty steady. Cuero, Alcantara, Vaughn, Jack Leiter, and another. I get more Michael Taylor sparkly cards. Anybody I know. Tauchman, I do not know. Number 90, I'll have to look, but I don't think so. I don't remember that being a number that I'm looking for. But again, pulled a couple of randos. Of course, I opened 2 boxes last week because I was just like, come on, shoot me something. And it was a thin night. Got the 1 numbered to 77, and that was about it. Let's see what we got here. Garcia on the top. No weird things upside down. Drake Baldwin, still great year. Freddie Freeman, potential Hall of Fame action going on. Pena, Carson Williams rookie. Steros. All right. Another Sale Sparkle. Never going to argue with the Sale Sparkle. I know I have Blaylock. So, again, it's sometimes you don't get the big value, but sometimes you just get guys that you just don't mind having in your collection or don't mind talking about or enjoying or following their stats. Eventually, it'll be long after I reach a certain age, because I am getting to that point where 20 years down the road, when they talk about how Sale made it into the Hall by getting past 3,000 strikeouts, first, second round, whatever, I might be thinking on a different plane by then. Wallner, Varsho, Brian Hayes, Kate Horton. That's a nice start back. He obviously, Jackson was ready to play ball. He's batting .364, came out of the gate hot, ran low. Take Dave Parker. Glad to see that he made it to Hall. It's one of those things. We don't spend enough time talking about the late 70s Pirates. In fact, they won 79. We are family year, for those of you that can remember that far back, with Stargell, Parker, Ray Sanguian, Kent DeColvey, first guy I ever saw throw a submarine pitch, and then Dan Quisenberry showed up in Kansas City, and that's all I ever wanted to do. All right, runs batted in card, leader card with Raleigh. Finally got a couple hits last night. Julio, base card, love Julio. He made a comment about being a veteran now that he's been in 3 or 4 years. It seems to be a little truth to that. Taj Bradley, we have all of these. Josh Smith, take a regular Ellie De La Cruz, Jackson Joby Chrome, and Nick. I haven't followed up. Where did he land? I'll figure that out. I'll pay better attention to that. And again, like I said, my memory sometimes fades. I don't have a fact checker, so if I ever make a mistake and you feel so inclined to correct me online, I work in a business where I get a lot of feedback on a very regular basis from a lot of different people. So, if you're not horrible, I could probably take it. Nimmo, Crochet, and Webb. Again, still waiting on Webb to go on some sort of run where he's just dominant for a month. Garcia Jr., Rafaela, Ramirez, Neo, Tyler Stevenson. What did I tell you? It was a short print. And then David Schneider. I was missing him. And they just kind of show up once they start showing up. You know, we've got 9 packs left, so that means we're halfway through the box. Would love to get a numbered card of somebody that, you know, the people are excited about in the hobby en masse. A good Royal number card would always make me very happy. You know, and a random relic or an autograph, that's always fun too. But all right, we got plenty of him. There's Mike. I want to say Braves, but I don't remember where he got traded. Devers, Diaz. It's tough news on the season. Jacob Young, Ramirez up near the league lead in stolen bases. Who knew? Sonny Gray, another. There you go, another short print. Now that Sonny Gray will go in set number 2 because I know if I got him for the first one, I didn't have him for the second one yet. So there you go, an interesting group of short prints or missing cards. You know, one of the things the Royals had an opportunity to win last night. I'm glad to see. I don't know if anybody saw the highlights on Bobby Witt's Inside the Park home run last weekend. If you didn't, it's worth a watch. Yeah, it's a ground ball. Yeah, it got misplayed. Technically not an error because it caromed off the wall, but man, that dude can fly. Sosa, I haven't seen any of him in a while. Love the bat that Jeffers has got there. There we go. Justin Bieber's stepbrother. Okay, that's not true, but, you know, it's late. Andrew Abbott, Vientos, Hassel, who's the red car? More Michael Taylor, I swear. I hope like the baseball gods just say, you know what, Michael Taylor, you need to go steal 60 bases or hit 30 home runs because I have a lot of you in 2026 Heritage 77 design. All right, so haven't seen a refractor yet. Haven't seen a silver refractor. Seen a chrome, some reds. Maybe the last handful of packs will really liven this thing up. Moreno, Javier. You know, don't know what's going on with Sproat. Is he going to make it through the year? Is he going to be an innings chewer? Is he gonna go on a run? He's getting action. He's getting on the hill. We'll see. Marcelo Mayer, everyday player at the Red Sox. Roman Anthony has been in the lineup the last few days. I have not checked the injury report. He's had backhand issue. We'll see. Otto Lopez, one of the league leaders in average. Great defensive player. Go back and find his rookies. I think it's 23 maybe. I don't know. I'm spending more time, but could be interesting to pick up. And, of course, there's Giancarlo doing the only thing that he can do, and Altuve is hit the ball. All right, we are down to the last 6. Still looking at that 85 Ricky Henderson. Who knew? I'm kind of tickled about that. And, yeah, I can tell right now it's off-centered a little top to bottom, so it's not something that somebody's going to pick up from me someday and go, I would think we should grade that. But it's clean and it's crisp, and I will sleeve that bad boy up, and he will go. Actually, I've got a good friend that loves Ricky Henderson, so if I've already got one in the pile somewhere, if I ever pan around, I'll show you the pile. But my guess is I'll probably do. Maybe it'll go to him. All right, Rooker, Riley Green All-Stars, nothing unusual. Reynolds, Magnum, we're going to have a sparkle here. Castle, Perez. All right. Here's a guy that's not in the league anymore, but never disappointed having a Kershaw card because, again, great pitcher, Hall of Fame. It's one of those things where I think that there was a while where our young athletes were basically indestructible, and they were going through ungodly training regimens. They were supplementing themselves to a point. They were, I don't want to get into the steroid debate of the Clemens era or how the fact that Barry Bonds had no neck in his mid-30s or late 30s. Fact of the matter is, when the body breaks down, the things that these young men do, it's going to break down. I love the orange on this Mayo. We're going to get us another sparkle. Alcantara. Again, flashes of brilliance. Rocchio. Max got lit up the other night. That's unfortunate. Chanel. There's Giancarlo. It's, you see one, you see them both. I pulled his rookie autograph out of last year's Heritage on a lark. Had no idea about it. I hope that he can secure some more regular playing time, move up, maybe do something mature in the league, and maybe there'll be a reason or desire to pull Louis on Yelp. All right, we're down to just 3 packs left. There's Kyle Tucker All-Star card. I know we've got him somewhere, but again, the Cubs are hot. Or have been hot up until a couple days ago. Frelick, Simeon, McKinstry, the City Connect, Harrison Bader. We're going to have a chrome. Who is the chrome? Let's just Dalen Lyle. And a Jacob Wilson All-Star, Bader, Jack Gelhoff. Haven't seen a handful of him very much lately. And again, the A's, not sure whether they're going to, what they're going to look like as the season plays out. There's talent, but there's a lot of young talent on a lot of teams, and that seems to be a little different than when I was growing up. We had some guys, it was hard to break in, and guys stuck around longer. And so I don't know, but here we go with Mr. Renfro. I do not know how to pronounce your name, Luis, and so I'm not going to insult you because the G and the I and the F and O. And I'll be honest with you, if somebody ever said, "Hey, that guy butchered your name," I don't want to be it. I apologize. It's a good-looking card. All right, Brenton Doyle, Estevez, Fireman, have a handful of those. You've seen them go through here. Victor Scott, Sale, average getting up a little bit. Yamamoto was on the hill last night. Wasn't great, wasn't awful. Duran, batting less than 200 right now, but apparently healthy, so he's still on the field. And Brandon. So I don't know. I don't know what to make of the Red Sox. I think when Ortiz was on the Red Sox and really just seeing if they could break the curse. I think kid and I, especially my kid, big Red Sox fan, Pedro fan. And then I think as it's kind of gone on, he realized that primarily he was an Ortiz fan. And then you get into the argument of who's the greatest Red Sox. Is it Ortiz? Is it Ted Williams? Is it Carl Yastrzemski? Those would be my top 3. But, oh, by the way, Skubal. Hope he gets healthy and can get back this season. Another great left-handed pitcher, very dominant. But, talk about getting the job done. You got to lean towards Ortiz. But if you're me, there's nobody better than Ted Williams, period. So this is a nice little dollar card. We'll take that. We'll take an Ohtani, anything Ohtani's on. And we'll take anything that Aaron Judge is on. And we're going to have another Chrome card. I don't think, unless we get some last pack magic, we're not going to have it. Kafis, Trey Sweeney, O'Neal Cruz, batting 250, still stealing the bases, still playing center field. Maybe not getting so much abuse. Pirates over 500. All good things. Some Martinez. All right, Kurtz Chrome. Second year. Not a bad little chromer. And, of course, Skubal. I'm putting him in the dollar pile because I like left-handed pitchers, especially ones that are dominant. I just want him to be healthy. We'll see how that affects his market. And so we are on the final pack. Retail baseball. And unless something really cataclysmic, super duper, something amazing happens in this pack, we've got yet another kind of middle of the road mega box from that Barnes & Noble case. But we're going to be okay with it because, again, I'm doing something I want to do in the middle of the evening, and this is it. Harper, 10 home runs. Garcia, Siegler, Wu, not sure about pitching. Sometimes his line looks good, sometimes not. Harris, Kyle Isbell, obviously very tickled about a Royal. This is going to be a quad outfielder. And let's do some comparing. Well, what do you know? Looks like we got the exact same short print in 2 different boxes from the same case. And Christian Walker. So,
Had some pretty good cards. Let's finish that. Make sure we didn't miss anybody there. Harper Harris. I got some players I wanted. Didn't hit anything amazing. I got one more box from that half case left. We'll crack that next week. Got one. And Kurtz, it's probably $1. Second year, even though it's a chrome. 2 on the Otani because Otani's hot, so that's 5. 6, 7, Sale 8, 9, Stanton 10. Kershaw still $1. He's retired, but he's awesome. Another couple of reds for 12, 13. Joby, Cruz, very marketable right now, 14. Rodriguez, center field, great center fielder, 15. Throwback Parker real cards, 15. 16 on the sale. Taylor, too many. 17, 18. Another sale red. Anthony, I'm going to go 19. I'm going to be the first to say it. He needs to get healthy. He needs to relax. And then he needs to see what he can do once he gets healthy. Bednar, 20. Stewart, possibly, obviously a little market going on. Then Skeens and Caglione. Caglione starting to play a little more regularly, doing a little platooning, bringing him along. But he's definitely contributing. So again, nowhere close to $55, except for the fact that there's a couple short prints that'll go in the second set. But great entertainment. I would say that after the next one, I'll be looking to bust a couple of these randoms that we picked up from Walmart or Target, or I don't even remember where I picked them up. See if something magic happens in them. Until then, enjoy some card trading. Enjoy some baseball. The weather's beautiful, and we'll catch you in a week.